Okay, this is how you check a carburetor. This one is pursuant to my POULAN weed whacker. I went and made up a mock setup for the fuel flow, and before I had a strong solid fuel flow coming from this line, but I did not have a solid fuel flow coming from this line. This is incoming, this is outgoing, and this goes to the primer bulb, which goes back to the gas tank. So when I pressed the primer bulb, I was getting nothing but bubbles here. As you can see, now that I pressed it a few times, I have solid fuel. So when I press it, this is technically what the primer bulb should look like if the carburetor is working correctly. So when you press it, you can see the fuel flowing out. It is a nice solid state fuel, which is exactly what you want for your weed whacker or your small engine. If you are not getting a solid flow of fuel coming from the carburetor, then that means there is something inside the carburetor that's causing it to clog up. Now, I'm going to show you what I did. I went and took a rebuild kit, and I went and replaced some parts. I found that this here small screen was causing a lot of problems because there was a lot of gunk on this small screen. So just by looking at it a little closer, if you can, there's not a, you can't really see there's detail on it and a whole lot in this phone, but this was the diaphragm, and I don't know if this was a problem or not, but I replaced that. This here was somewhat worn out. It was indented in this part here, and in this part here it was actually cupped in. Can't really see the details too much about it, but the parts that are laying on this paper towel are what it is that I went and replaced. And as a result of putting in the new carburetor kit, we have a solid state fuel flow from this carburetor. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to install this into my weed whacker, and I'm going to make an attempt to start it. When I do start it, I'm going to make a separate video about the weed whacker. So this is all that I wanted to show.